Thank you all for being here. Sorry about the delay in starting. Just want to say a couple of things first before we start the concert and before we tune. Just a reminder, the concert is being videotaped by CTN, which is really exciting. You'll have a really nice YouTube video to share with family and friends if they're not here. So I just encourage you, put the phones away, just enjoy the concert, enjoy the pictures that they're going to take. Again, they're using really high definition cameras with really good audio and all sorts of things. So you're going to really nice, and they love to do close-ups, so I'm sure you'll get some good close-ups of your family members. Smile. Okay, good. All right. Also just going to remind everyone that we do have ushers at the back, and if you do need to leave for any reason during the concert, they may ask you just to wait to be reseated when there's a break in the music. So just wait in the back, and then you're welcome to listen from the back. Just wait to go sit down so you don't interrupt the people around you. Thank you. I'm very excited to have you all here. We have some varied music with all three of the groups that we have up here. So we're going to do a quick tuning, and then we'll start the concert. Thank you very much for being here. So with the level 1 and 2 orchestras, we've got 3 orchestras here at the curricular orchestras. With my level 2 1 groups, we switched first and second violins for different pieces because the violin ones tend to play the high parts, the violin 2s play the bottom parts, and if they don't switch, they never play the other parts. And so the chance they get to play a little bit of each part, you know, I wouldn't say one's harder, one's easier. There's melody in both, etc., but they learn sort of different ranges of the instrument, and they go through that. So the first piece we played is a brand new piece. It just came out in 2024, just this past fall. So I love doing some new music from time to time and finding some new composers. She's a fairly young composer who's just started composing a lot of pieces, getting pieces. This next one is a piece I've done several times before, and we're really excited. It's a Jordanian composer written for a Jordanian music school. So, and there's more notes in the program about what the piece is about. So. several solos in there. And then we also had Red playing djembe, which is not exactly the same drum, but it's very similar to the hand percussion that they would use in Jordan. So we have one more piece, which is a lot older, probably from 400 years ago. So for our last piece, it's one of my favorites, Inverno for winter. We're almost done with winter, right? Yeah, probably not. have a script here. I forgot to acknowledge you. So if your district honors orchestra, just come forward for just a second. I just want to acknowledge the students real quick while the rest of ninth graders, if you want to start packing up and moving up. So we got Tommy Davis on viola, right here. We've got Cody Chambers on cello. Griffin Spa, who is, I think, cello and soloist, played a solo with the orchestra. And then this one here didn't just do the district honors, but he did the state honors orchestra and played a couple weeks ago at the state convention. So very proud of these ninth graders. Again, as always, we generally have a few students here, both in state and the district honors, and no exception. We have some amazing leaders coming up. So thank you. Okay, next up is symphonic orchestra. Go ahead. So we're going out this way. So if you recall strings, you go off this way, right? Yeah. Ninth string orchestra this way. Yep. There you go. All right. Symphonic comes in that way. There we go. Okay. So a couple other things. I put in the program on the back page a bunch of events. We have a ton of things coming up. The biggest one, which a few students in here are in choir, and I think concert orchestra we got. In the Fuller Orchestra we have some students in choirs as well as playing in band and orchestra. Their concert's on Thursday. High School League, we're hosting contests this year. We do about every 3 to 4 years. We host solo ensemble contests here. So we have 10 different schools and probably 150 students from all those 10 schools coming here to Coon Rapids High School to participate in state solo ensemble contests coming up, including, I think, like 27 students from Coon Rapids High School that are going to be playing for that. So another chance to see some of our students excelling and showing some real strong promise, musical promise. So I'm very excited about that. And then you can see Spring Fling and a bunch of other stuff. We've been already in rehearsals for Hello Dolly, so that's coming up soon. Looking forward to that show. It's a great show. We got a great pit. I'm a little biased maybe, but we also got great actors and actresses in the cast as well. So looking forward to that. We also have the Chicago trip coming up really soon. It's hard to believe it's less than 2 weeks away. Oh my gosh. Next Friday, a week from Friday. I'm not ready. Are you ready? No, I'm not ready. We have time to pack yet. All right, coming up next Friday. So we're taking a music tour to Chicago with several members of Level 2 and Level 3 orchestras. And we're going to play several places, including with my daughter's former youth symphony conductor. He's now at Wheaton College in Illinois. And so my daughter was concertmaster of his orchestra, and he played with him when she was in Gitsy's, and now he's teaching out there. And so I get a chance to see him again. Really fun. Ben Clemmy and a bunch of other people. We're going to see the Bean and all the fun stuff that you're supposed to see when you're in Chicago too. So I'm very excited. We're going to see Waitress, the musical, if you know that one, and a lot of fun stuff. Looking forward to that. So I think they're done moving, so I'm going to let them tune and get to the next piece. can see we switch places in this group as well, again, to move things around and give a chance to play different parts. This the little mini theme going to run through as part of this next. Oh, we're going to do first of all this Libertango, and we're doing this with some of the members of Chicago Orchestra because they're doing this on the trip to Chicago, and I love this piece, and they all think it's cool. This orchestra was like, I don't know. So I was like, okay, I'm going to bring in the people that like to play, and they're going to play and join you. Okay, so they can have fun with you with it. Also, you heard a lot of pizzicato in that last song, and many times we think of pizzicato as something you do when you're a beginner, just starting to play. Oh, okay. And you'll see in Cardinal Strings, there's a piece called Playful Pizzicato, and it's another one of those pieces where it's all pizzicato. And there's a few composers like that. You'll also see like Tchaikovsky does the same thing in his Fourth Symphony, one of my favorite pieces. That has a pizzicato section in there where the whole thing is pizzicato. And it's not like your beginner pizzicatos at all, right? What they were doing, their dynamics and different articulations and things like that. So, good. See Tito? Go next to Tito. Almost right. That's a fun song, right? Yeah, that's a fun song. It's jamming. Okay, it's got a groove. It's as some people might even say, it's a banger, right? It's a banger. Okay. Anyway, so next up, Cardinal Strings, right? Yeah. So symphonic, you can go off that way because I think Cardinal Strings members are coming up this way. So, all right. As I mentioned, we've got contests coming up Saturday. Cardinal Strings is one of the groups that's going to play there. So doing these pieces that you're going to be hearing here. There's also a couple other things coming up that I should probably mention as well. Let's see, we have large group contests, which I mentioned briefly in there as well, coming up April 3rd, which seems like a ways away, but then you got spring break in the middle, so it's not so far away. So, and all these groups will be playing for that as well. As it says, playful. It's very playful. So yeah, as you can see, pizzicato. Actually, I want to compliment Symphonic inspiring me with that, with the choice of the Black Sea piece that we did. That sort of inspired me, got me thinking about it. We're like, oh, that's so cool. It'd be fun to do a whole piece pizzicato, not just like a whole section. One more piece. This is another really fun fiddle tune, so just enjoy. Next up is concert orchestra. While we're doing that, I'm going to mention some of the students that made the not district, Northwest Suburban Conference. 14 schools made the honors orchestra here. So if they could stand up and come forward, just step forward. So we've got choral in the cello section. We've got, one more. She's going to get her cello because she played violin and the cardinal strings. So I'll come back to that one. Anna and Elizabeth in the violas. And Peyton and Bajuda in the violins. Yeah. And Michaela, when she gets her cello, because she's switching, like I said, she's switching instruments. She's really talented. Here's Michaela. Also played cello in the orchestra as well. So. Oh, and Cody, and I can't forget in the bass section, the most important section, I think. The bass section, Cody, yay! So, in addition, we had some students who made the state all-state orchestra this past year. Bajuda was all-state. Yeah, woo! And Matthew played with the all-state band. Yeah. So, and it was just 2 weeks ago you played Orchestra Hall, right? So that was exciting. That was very fun to see. So, good program. So that piece and our next piece, both are written like in the last year, like 2024. So fairly recent music. So we're finding some fun new pieces, which is fun for me too. I always like looking for new things. But right now I want to take a step back to talk a little bit about one of the basses that we see up on the stage. Do you see this? Matthew's holding up this bass. We've had this bass for a while. The school district bought us that a while ago. But we've not always had these low notes. Do you want to play that low, play your low C real quick, yeah. Now that's not what it normally sounds like. This is what a bass usually sounds like. Let's hear the E, yeah. Just go up to the E. That's so boring. Play the low C again. I just love it. Okay, so maybe I'm a bass player, maybe I'm a bass player. Anyway, but that was thanks to a very generous gift by one of our alumni. Alyssa Nordstrom graduated from here in 2010. She was a member of our orchestra. She went with us on many of our trips that we went on, but also played Mozart's Violin Concerto her senior year with the orchestra. Was very talented. Even now that she's no longer in high school, she's still playing a little bit, and I credit part of her violin to her success. Her first job, they asked about other hobbies and interests and talked about how the importance of violin was to her. And they credit that to part of getting hired at a big financial firm in New York City. But that wasn't the biggest job that she got. The job that sort of she's in right now, she's working for Google. She was at their headquarters out in San Francisco and got a big pay raise. She's like, you know what, I want to give some money back to Coon Rapids, the high school that I went to. So she donated both a scholarship fund for our students as well as a generous donation that we put towards this space. She said, use it for something that would benefit the students. And this is going to benefit, I mean, this is going to be a legacy. I can imagine we'll have this bass for the next, 50 years. We've got a couple basses in there. The one that, not the one he's using, but the one that Bu used in the first orchestra we've had since the school opened, So I'm sure this is going to be a great legacy we can pass on to many future students. So give a round of applause to the Nordstrom, yeah. Now, Google just moved her to Atlanta, so she couldn't make it here tonight. But her mom, who still lives in Coon Rapids, Linda Nordstrom, if you want to raise your hand, is in the audience. And I want to thank her a lot for... I want to say this program wouldn't be the program it was without her. And that may sound like a lot for one parent, but she was my substitute for almost 18, 19 years. Was my go-to substitute every... 19 years? 20 years, oh my gosh, yeah. 20. And she wasn't just like any normal sub. So I got away with all sorts of stuff when she was my sub that I wouldn't normally. So I played with the Minnesota Opera for most of those years. And many times they had a matinee during the day. And so I would go play with them during the matinee. But then they also allowed student groups to come watch. So I thought, but I don't know how I can do this because I'm getting paid by the opera and I can't technically get paid by the school at the same time. So I'd take the day off and then she'd be my sub and she'd take all the kids on a bus down to see me play a concert. How many subs do you know take kids on a field trip? I mean, that's quite the... So anyway, but she did that for several years, and we got away with it. Even one time, I was riding the bus down there with the kids that year, and they decided to hold us after for rehearsal, and the buses couldn't wait for me, so I had to figure out a ride back. They left without me. So she didn't wait for nobody. Yes, he did. I had to find a friend of mine who lived up here that drove me back up. Okay, anyway, I just want to say she was also a graduate of this program, and as part of that legacy of sustaining this program and making this program what it is today. It was part of that first orchestra back, what was his name again, the director?
Blake, but not Blake that any of these people might
Yeah, Blake. Yeah, Larry Blake, not Larry Blake's dad, who was the first orchestra director here. Yeah, Raven Blake. And so many, many years of helping out. So again, not just that, but many field trips went on us with our trip to London and Paris. Lots of many, many things. So, well, anyway, I'm very excited about the bass and what that's I'm able to offer us. I want to say a little bit about the legacy, because it also leads directly into the next piece. The next piece is actually by another alumni of Coon Rapids High School who teaches in Iowa. And he wrote this for students down in Iowa. He lives not too far from where Dvorak spent his summer in 1893. I mentioned it in the program briefly. Josh Resnikow, he's also a bass player in the orchestra, ironically enough. And I know that Matthew's taking a few liberties with the bass part. You got to play those low notes, right? So I think he only gave him the last note to play as a low D, but he's playing a few others. You'll hear as you listen carefully to the piece. than that last piece, just a few. Well, I'm very excited about our last piece. This was also sort of recommended to me by an alumni. I sort of had to find a bootleg copy of it because it's not printed anywhere. Bernard Green's Philippine Folk Songs. It was recommended by Jesse Coe, who was an all-state French horn player we had in this orchestra. He really wanted to do it senior year, but it just didn't work out. It didn't, I don't know, lots of reasons. Anyway, and so I got the music a little late, a lot of different things. But anyway, very excited to do the piece this year, and it's got a bunch of earworms in it for me. I just keep hearing the songs of this one. It's got about 9 different folk songs, and they're all really, really fun. I don't know any Philippine folk songs, but they're fun. Anyway, I don't do, I had to look them up on YouTube, to figure out what they all were. But, so I'm also very excited to do these collaborations with the winds. This is one of my favorite things about playing here. The collaboration we do as a department between the band and the orchestra. We did our Big Traditions concert. We actually collaborate with the choir as well. And it's just a fun thing to get to work with such talented students and get to work with the best of the band as well as the best of the orchestra students here. And they get together, we meet in the morning before school, 6:45, if you can believe it, these wind players. And so they're really dedicated and really hardworking. So it's really a pleasure to work with them. So I'll let them tune up and get warmed up.